Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Corey. This is the third of 4 topic requests he sent in. Figured I would do them separately, make it easier. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reviews, commentaries, video game playthroughs, what have you, you can feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to rank these debuts, and the list he came up with were Tom Holland, whose debut was Fright Night, Tim Burton, whose debut was Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Tom Lee Wallace, whose debut was Halloween 3, Fred Decker, whose debut was Night of the Creeps, Ralph Singleton, whose debut, really the only film he did, was Graveyard Shift, Dan O'Bannon with Return of the Living Dead, Ryan Schifrin with Abominable, Bigfoot movie that I enjoy, and Jeremy Colette for House of Wax. And he wanted me to rank these directorial debuts. And I had to think about it for a bit. Number one, I would say Tom Holland's Fright Night. Because Fright Night is an absolute classic. It's one of my favorite vampire films. It has a great combination of horror, grisly makeup effects, very likable characters, especially Roddy McDowall, who stole the show. I think it's a bit smarter than people give it credit for. It looked at vampire lore, but at the same time wasn't making fun of it and being just a stupid parody. But at the same time, the terrors knew a bit about this type of stuff, and some of them felt a bit smarter than the average character. I love the idea of a horror host having to help out. And again, Roddy McDowall stole the show. You have a great villain in Chris Sarandon. So Tom Holland would be number one for Fright Night. Number two, because this is a personal favorite of mine, Ralph's Singleton for Graveyard Shift. Just for the fact that I thought he did a really good job establishing the way you're utilizing the creature, where you can't show too much of it so it ruins the effect. And shooting these tunnels, these catacombs, to give a bit of a claustrophobic feel. And the fact that he just never got a chance to direct again. This is pretty much the only thing he got to direct, and it's a shame. And I thought he did a more than capable job, and it's a film that I do enjoy. And it's a childhood favorite of mine, so I'm partial to it. So I'm going to give him the number 2 spot. God, it's tough. Because, okay, if you're talking about, like, films I enjoy, it'd be, like, Fright Night, and then Graveyard Shift, and then... But then, are we talking about, like, the way the director utilizes the camera? Are we talking about the way the director utilizes style? Because you could argue Tim Burton definitely utilized style with Pee Wee Herman, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and really made his mark. You say, well, actually, Tom Lee Wallace, he did a good job establishing the feel of John Carpenter, while John Carpenter himself didn't even direct the film. Or you say Dan O'Bannon with the ambition of all the zombie stuff and effects he's able to accomplish within the limited budget. And I only say there's a lot of different criteria to put into it. I'm just going to put into like which films I like more, and that guy just happened to direct it. So Fright Night number 1 by Tom Holland, Graveyard Shift number 2 with Ralph Singleton, number 3. Which one would I put above it? I mean, which one I would have put next? I had the list in my head before, but now I'm like second guessing myself. Number 3, I don't put Tom Lee Wallace Halloween 3 with how the director, like I said, was really trying to mimic the John Carpenter flavor to it, with the use of the widescreen format, with the establishing shots to really set the mood. Getting someone like Alan Howarth to do the score working with actors like Tom Atkins and Dan O'Herlihy, the old man. The ending, which is very ambiguous, but definitely a memorable ending. Utilizing, again, some of the grisly effects. And really creating a sense of foreboding tension of the dates popping up, and we see we're getting closer and closer to Halloween and this possible event that either did or didn't happen, depending on how you want to choose to take the ending. Four, I'll put Ryan Schifrin, Abominable. It's very tough to make a Bigfoot movie, I know, because I have seen a ton of horror Bigfoot movies. My favorite Bigfoot movie is Harry and the Hendersons, but that's a family film. Horror Bigfoot, there's a ton of them, and most of them suck. The only two I really liked were this one and Exists, which is some of the guys who did the Blair Witch Project. It's a found footage one. This one is not found footage. It's Matt McCoy, who gets paralyzed, is forced to return to the area where this accident happened, and thus is in this cabin with this asshole orderly. And then across the way, there's a group of other characters. It becomes a little bit of Rear Window with a little bit of a Bigfoot motif as well. And I thought the way the director handled the Rear Window aspect of it, and got a pretty cool looking Bigfoot creature with some very memorable deaths. Well, one in particular where, let's say, the orderly gets his just desserts. I'll put it that way. It's a hell of an effect. And idea what you're able to accomplish. With how many other people have fucked up a Bigfoot movie, Abominable is actually pretty damn decent. So, the fact that, you could swim through all the glut of Bigfoot movies and come out with a pretty decent winner, it has to take some kind of talent. So, Ryan Schifrin, I'll put as number 4. Number 5, Jamie Collet-Serra, House of Wax. Even there, he showed that he had some type of talent in terms of style. This is a guy that go on to direct The Shallows, which is actually a pretty good shark movie, Non-Stop, and Walk 'em on the Tombstones, two of the more decent Liam Neeson films. He's directed other stuff as well. And House of Wax is a pretty damn good remake. One of the better remakes of that era. The way of utilizing the town, and the idea, the way he shot the whole scene in the finale, with the wax museum made of wax burning down, and these wide shots where your characters are walking up these stairs that are melting, trying to escape this burning inferno from underneath, that you can see the whole building's melting around them. Very unique. Had not really seen anything like that before. I think you get some nice grisly death scenes. Felt like a slasher film from back in the day. The characters I didn't mind. Yeah, House of Wax is pretty damn good. I guess after that, I would say Tim Burns' Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which I think from a lot of people would be number 1 or number 2. He did showcase his style, but then part of me wonders how much of that was also Paul Rubens and his whole, like, their working relationship. And but on the flip side, you looked at, for example, the nightmare sequence where he's having a nightmare of his bike being taken and dipped into acid or whatever it was, and the bad guys just laughing in glee, and this really weird, creepy stuff. Like I say, if you're talking about directing style, like just the directing style itself, not the whole package, Tim Burton definitely made a mark of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, and yeah, that would be in the tops there. But I still like Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I like the other films more. So they were based on just movies, like I like all these movies, to be honest. I don't think any of them are bad at all. But I'll put that one next, and then I'll put Dan O'Bannon's Return of the Living Dead and Fred Decker's Night of the Creeps as last. I like those two films. I do like the other films more. So yeah, Tom Holland Fright Night number one, Ralph S. Singleton Graveyard Shift number two, uh, Tom Lee Wall's Halloween 3 number 3, Ryan Schifrin Abominable number 4, John Michelitzer House of West number 5, and then I'll put, like I said, Dan O'Bannon number 6 and Night of the Creeps number 7. Return of the Dead I do enjoy. I don't like the ending of the movie. I think the ending of the movie kind of doesn't ruin the film, but it's like, okay, it's such this weird, quirky, fun vibe to it, and it's kind of like you're enjoying it, and then the ending kind of throws a bit of cold glass of water on you, like, what? And you're like, I get the idea, the incompetence of the government. They think they're going to fix their problems, but of course, lo and behold, they made things 10 times worse. But it's just because I was liking the characters, and I mean, I would have preferred if you had to give it a downer ending that they get out, but it's still out there growing, and then your mind can wonder how these guys are going to survive in this zombie world and what's going to happen, and or that our terrorists made it out, and then the government, they dropped the bomb, but they fucked up, and it comes back again. I just prefer that if the characters had survived. That's just my own personal thought on it. But I mean, directing wise, I mean, utilizing the zombies and of course the naked dancing in the cemetery, very memorable sequence. Pretty decent cast. Clu Gulager, among other people. Tommy Jarvis himself from Friday the Part 6, Tom Matthews. Like I said, for the most part, I do like the cast. I do like the soundtrack. Make the Professor brutal and bloody. Love the Tar Man, love the look of him in it. But just not big on the endings, so that's why it's lower on the list. And Night of the Creeps I like, but again, even that I wouldn't say is for the directing, it's for Tom Atkins. And I like the other guy too, the lead guy. I forget his name. Can't believe I forgot his name, but I did like him. But Tom Atkins stole the show. But once again, I hated the finale. Either one. Because you have the finale where things are fine, and then the dog comes in and spits something out, and maybe gets the girl. Or things are fine, but then Tom Atkins comes out, and his dead body flops, all these slugs come out, and they go into the cemetery. I don't like either ending, and again, that kind of puts a damper for me and my enjoyment of the film. Like I said, I like Night of the Creeps, but I actually liked Monster Squad more, much more, from Fred Decker. I thought he did much better in that movie. I mean, it's better than RoboCop 3. So again, I don't think that's his best film. I think The Monster Squad is Fred Decker's best film. Like Dan O'Bannon, Return of the Living Dead. He did. I'm trying to think what else The Resurrected he directed. Yeah, I would say Return of the Living Dead's his best film. Ryan Schifrin, I don't know what else he's done. So, as far as an Abominable, yeah, his best. Ralph S. Singleton, Graveyard Shift was like the only film he got to do. Fright Night would be my favorite Tom Holland movie, although I do like Child's Play, but I like Fright Night more. Tim Burton's Pee-wee's Big Adventure I do like, but there's other films I like more. Maybe that's why I put it a bit lower on the list, because I like Ed Wood more, Sleepy Hollow more, Batman Returns more, Beetlejuice I like more. I like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but I like those films more. Tom Lee Wallace. I'd probably say I I probably say I like It, the 1991. Maybe I like that film more. I don't know. I do like Friday Part Two. I think is pretty fun. I don't know. I don't know which I like more. I don't know. I probably say It. I like more. And do I like Halloween 3 more than Friday Night Part 2? I think Halloween 3 definitely has much more of a mood and atmosphere. But Friday Night Part 2 has a bit more of a satisfying finale. Doesn't have that weird lady that all of a sudden she's a robot. And when did she become a robot? If she was a robot earlier, why didn't she stop Tom Atkins from trying to destroy everything? And all this other stuff. So I have to think about it. But anyway, definitely Tom Holland for the win. And of course, the director, not the guy who plays Spider Man, different Tom Holland. Fright Night's just an absolute classic. I love the film. Could watch that anytime and get quite a bit of enjoyment. And of course, the original, not that piece of shit remake with Colin Farrell. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.